Kind of a crazy story. You know, a lot of it just feels like luck. Right place at the right time. I just finished university. I quit the 3 jobs I was balancing and I just flew to Southeast Asia. I honestly didn't even have a game plan. And while I was there, I saw these like master carvers and silversmiths. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff, but nothing that I would ever wear. And at home, I couldn't find anything I'd really wear either, but you know, I was still down for men's jewelry. So I sketched something up and had a guy make it, and it was okay. I don't know, it wasn't amazing, but I had fun doing it. So I kept getting people to make me stuff. And finally I had something that I was pretty stoked on, so I posted on Facebook and I actually got a crazy response. I thought like maybe 1 or 2 people, but it was like a huge group of my friends were like, yeah, bring that home for me. And I had them all in my backpack. I went into a store on Queen Street and I asked the owner, I was like, hey, is this something that you'd ever be into? You know, sure enough, she's like, actually, like, I'd buy that for you right now. She made me make up a price and go to the Staples up the street and get her a receipt book and write in the prices. So it's like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I guess I'll sell these to you. So that's kind of where it all started. A big part of my design process is to keep things really simple. For me, I'm designing for all of my friends and also for myself. And to do that, I think that I need things that are simple enough that they can kind of work with everyone, but also bold enough that people actually care. You know, like they're gonna pay attention to it. A huge thing about our brand is that everything is designed with our friends in mind. You know, that's our motto. It came to me really easily because it is so obvious. You would never design something crappy for your friends. What I mean by that is you'd never design something that's poor quality, and you would never overcharge your friends. I'd like to think that these are things that will never really go out of style. They're plays on a lot of very classic things, you know, so whether it's a play on the dog tag or a play on the classic beaded bracelet, you know, these are things that people have been wearing forever, at least people who wear jewelry, and that's really what I want. I want to have a good quality product that's going to last and that people are going to feel comfortable wearing even 2 or 3 years from now.
The point at which I came on board with Vitaly was in, I believe, September of roughly 2011. You know, Shane was saying that in order for him to get to the next step that he needed some capital. You know, he had put his final 3,000 student line of credit into the product that he did have at the time. You know, eventually I just decided like, all right, like let's do this, let's go for it. And I transferred over all of my savings. We got some investors who were able to, essentially all that we did was raise money to give us wages so that we could keep going full time. Shane and I met when actually the first time we met was when we were snowboarding. You know, it was probably 11 or 12 years ago. We started talking, you know, and from that point we were both skateboarders, we were both snowboarders. Had we lived close to an ocean, we definitely would have been surfers. When we had the chance to have a company and to position it somewhere, it was a no-brainer to pick lifestyle sports. We're really starting to work on growing ourselves in the European market. You know, places like Australia. It's so far across the world that you wouldn't think that you would end up there, you know, and here we are. We're 2.5 years into the game. We've got over 120 stores carrying our products. We're expanding, and it's really exciting because we come from a small town, you know, and moving to the city was such an eye-opening experience, you know, and now we're stepping from the city, you know, and trying to get on the world stage. The great thing about being your own boss and doing what you're doing is that you're constantly being shown more things. Everywhere we go now, essentially the way I describe it is we see doors, and they're just doors that are waiting to be opened. You're not walking around in the dark, you know, like the room's kind of been lit and you know where you can go. One of the things that's, you know, awesome about life in general is that you're always just getting ready for the next stage. Like anything that sets you back is really just training, you know, like your trials and tribulations on a daily basis are they're there to get you ready for tomorrow, you know, and if you can just keep your eye on tomorrow, you can do anything.